I'm honored to be here. I'm not as good with my words as your president is, so I will have to read them to you. I'll keep it short, or short enough. I think I have 10 minutes, and I'll use all of them. Thank you for this great honor to address you, Polish nation, gathered here to celebrate itself and its 25 remarkable years recently, and many years before, and many to come. This is a laudatio for Professor Rogera Scrutona, a friend and former tutor of mine, and someone from whom I've learned a great deal. And I want to answer the question what he could mean for you, not what he has meant, but what he could mean. If philosophy had disappeared during St. Thomas Aquinas' lifetime, it was said that he could have single-handedly reconstructed it. In Thomas's spirit, let us offer words suited to the substance. If philosophy were to disappear whilst we sat here, Rogera Scrutona could also revive it for us. Should the automobile disappear, do not worry. Don't worry how you'll get home, for he could revive horsemanship too. Now, it is a rare thing indeed to have some great part of the world mapped in one's mind, so that one could give back as much as one has taken from the world. Most of us are takers and not givers in this respect. But giving and gifts are essential to a life well lived, a life twinned to gratitude, possessed by forgiveness, a life absent of the ressentiment that might just be the default position of social animals, if Nietzsche is to be believed. And I believe him more or less on that one. Rogera Scrutona, by the Queen's decree, lately Sir Roger, has given us more than 40 books, hundreds of articles, both popular and academic, 2 operas, and perhaps another on the way, it is rumored, countless lectures, these all on topics ranging from architectural aesthetics, to wine, to dancing properly, to not saying too much, or at least leaving the unsayable unsaid, which I too shall attempt to do here. He's also given himself as father and farmer, husband and husbandman, teacher and mentor, friend and usually charitable foe, patriot of England and compatriot particularly of Poles and Czechs and other Central Europeans, gadfly of paranoid communists everywhere, and bane of social liberals, welfare capitalists, and certain progressives. All the while, a stalwart cultural icon of resigned English excellence. He has described himself variously as a French intellectual, a Virginian farmer for a time, and, of course, an English hunter. These are all true, or true enough. In self-description, he neither deceives nor fakes anything. But he's not above embellishing or taking artistic license, the way the novelist misremembers the past in order to shake the truth out of it. Nevertheless, no matter which genre he treats, the philosopher is never far, for he is a lover of wisdom in the original sense of philosophia. In presenting a livable philosophy to us, he has the courage not to lie, even when lies would be prettier. The intellectual honesty to end things at the right time, not to speculate too much, not to attempt to see beyond what are one-sided boundaries. For these reasons and others, his work can be trusted and received as the gift it was intended to be, meaning it's credible. In what follows, I shall attempt not merely to tell you of Rogera Scrutona's virtues and accomplishments, which I know would embarrass him most of all. I shall instead offer some of his thoughts in my own idiom. All errors in understanding or misrepresentations are naturally my own. But I want to reflect for a moment in a Scrutopian way on 2 related themes of his work, person and the sacred, in reference to the Polish nation. What could they mean for you? The Polish national anthem alludes to the uncertain historical place of Poland. Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła. Poland has not yet perished. Or, Poland is not yet lost. Not to be lost is a good thing, but it is different from being found or well-founded, to extend the metaphor. One who is not lost can wander, can lose one's way, can get lost. One who has not perished might still be in danger of perishing. Poland shares with other nations in this region, including Hungary, a bit of a tragic self-understanding, in which direction is found in suffering. If the goal is shared by the nation, this suffering may be willingly taken on by its members. Taking the suffering of others onto the self is noble, much nobler than causing suffering to others. And it is a mark of the advance of our civilization and our religion that we ask the self to suffer rather than others, something which Rogera Scrutona notes in his book, The Soul of the World. But a nation cannot be founded on the fact of suffering. However, a nation may be formed and reformed by giving suffering meaning. The nation answers the why of suffering with a we of settlement. It answers it with a here of place, with a then and yet still of shared history, and with a yet to come. My name is Million, for I love and suffer for millions, is Conrad's exclamation in Adam Mickiewicz's Giada. But solidarity is not merely for millions of unknown, or in principle, unknowable individuals. Solidarity requires pre-existing relations between persons. A thin solidarity could rely on the principle of mere humanity. But solidarity that rallies higher virtues of self-sacrifice requires, as you know, pre-existing relations of friendship, family, nation or tribe, confession, civilization, and, broadly speaking, culture. This is one of the problems with inviting more than 1 million non-wine drinkers into Europe, and relying merely on solidarity to make it work in the spirit of humanity. Poland, with a real tradition of solidarność, a living tradition of solidarity, was right to ask for migrants with whom you share something more than merely humanity, such as the Christian religion. This is part of what I believe Rogera Scrutona means when he says that culture counts, culture matters. It cannot be ignored. It's part of who we are and how we understand ourselves. Culture involves the way in which we are European. It involves the ways in which you are Polish. Ordinary culture is about membership and belonging, as well as shared judgment about morals and mores. High culture is about judgment based in shared aesthetic and philosophical values, amongst others. A society built on a common heritage of Christianity, seasoned by a large contribution from Judaism, can and does welcome strangers. But strangers cannot be welcomed to live in some humanity land of rights-bearing agents. For no persons actually live in such lands. There are no such places. Remember, these strangers, these migrants, are persons. That, if they lived with you, you would want to look in the face in order to form friendship and perhaps families with. They are persons that you would want to share judgments about right and wrong, beautiful and wretched, fitting and inappropriate. Veils can be seen through, but their presence in the public sphere is meant to preclude a shared space that the West has secured, sadly often through war, but it has been secured. The public space has been secured. And Poland, as part of the West, does stand against the rest in a tradition of ordered liberty provided to individual persons. We can have some solidarity with those who share at least that conviction. Nothing is more indicative of a commitment to liberty than the beauty that has been produced by Western artists. Art that is forbidden, or at least considered shameful in many of the migrants' homelands. Think of the various self-portraits of Rembrandt, then young, now middle-aged, now playful, now a serene old man. Where is the beauty in these secular icons? especially after the fire of Rembrandt's youth has dried up his body. It is not the wrinkled cheek, it is not in the wrinkled cheek, nor the tested hand on the cane, nor even in his solace and loss that we see. It is in what has persisted, and in a way still persists in our mind's eye, the person visible in his face, and indeed in her face, in Rembrandt's sympathetic portraits of women. Christianity has taught us to look for the Creator in the creation. The incarnation and sacraments are doctrines teaching just that. And Judaism also had God with us, Emmanuel, in the temple. Even so, the whole world is God's creation. And God, too, we are taught, is a person. As Thomas also taught, person implies dignity, a status, elevated above other substances. It also implies, and I would say necessitates, relation. This concept, one that Rogera Scrutona has cherished, is one of our highest values that he has spent a life affirming. But we are in danger of losing sight of the sacred dignity of the person. It survived communism and fascism. But now everything from transhumanism to transnationalism and even resurgent Catholic fideism threaten its dignity. On all sides, the old demon stands saying, Ich bin der Geist der Staatsverneint. I am the spirit who always denies, who reduces something to nothing, who undoes the work of creation. The response, our response, and your response must be to look to the faces with whom we are in solidarity, and the face of the nation and the land that is its birthright, to see and represent these beauties to others as art. These, taken together, are, or at least can be, manifestations of the sacred wish for humanity, first proclaimed to us by the Israelites, but understood now by all patriots, the wish to dwell in peace in the land of our fathers. Please join me in thanking Rogera Scrutona for his work on behalf of Poland, the great nation, and for his work for the life of the mind, and his courage on behalf of our civilization.
Pan Jonathana Price'a, thank you very much.